we played a lot of places down south, like Amarillo, Texas, especially Amarillo, Texas. They locked Richard up for shaking on the bandstand, and I think they have to pay $500 fine. And they say, if you see that redneck son of a gun, Elvis Presley, tell me, we're going to lock his behind up too, because ain't nobody supposed to come out there and shake. Now, down south, they had audience. They had the white night for the white folks and everything. They was downstairs. And then they had the next night, and that sounds so primitive, for colored people. These colored, the colored folks, And so, but when the colored folks had their night, the dance and everything, the white audience, the white kids, some of the same kids that came for the white concert, they was upstairs. And when they started hearing that rock and roll music, they would dance, jump downstairs, and start dancing with the black kids. Now you see, all respect to Martin Luther King, and I love all respect to Martin Luther King Jr., but rock and roll really started that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Rock and roll. And the thing about that, and I used to hear...
From the mouth of the legend who experienced it all. Welcome, Charles Connor. I've got to say, I met you a couple months ago, and you have been in my heart ever since. I just adore you.
Oh, that's very kind of you, Kelly. And thanks for coming out. That was a pretty nice radio show. And delicious barbecue, too.
Mm.
I don't know. We get some pretty good barbecue down in Texas.
That's true.
I wasn't too impressed with the barbecue that night.
Okay.
Honest to God.
Well, I'm from Louisiana. That's where the real food from.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. No, I tell
New
you
Orleans,
what.
French Quarters.
At Nolans, there's no food like Nolans.
No.
Yeah.
So I am so excited. Tell me, with regards to this, have you seen The Butler yet with Forrest Whitaker?
Well, I tell you, they had great actors and great actress with The Butler. I haven't seen it yet, but I've seen little previews and everything.
Forrest Whitaker is amazing.
But they were just reenacting, but we was the butlers for the music industry those days.
Man.
Well,
Yeah.
exactly.
We paid the dues for Prince, Michael Jackson, and all the rest of those cats, and stuff like, you know what I mean? Because it was rough those days. And you have to have a certain kind of attitude to play down south when you play in these white places. You have to go through the back door and everything. And they didn't like rock and roll. And Little Richard is actually the creator of rock and roll, with the respect of Elvis Presley, too. I love Elvis, because Elvis told Richard one time, "Hey, Richard, we know that you're the real king of rock and roll." But the thing about that, those days, rock and roll, they call it racist music and stuff like that. And people didn't want their kids to listen to rock and roll. So what happened is Richard said, we use the strategy. That's what we really use, the strategy. We sit down about a week and review the strategy. He said, "Child, they're going to have to accept us in a way of speaking, because I know I look different. And I'm, never seen a black man like that with all the hair on his head and pancake makeup." He said, "What we're gonna do is, if you guys don't mind," I said, "I don't mind, because I'm playing with the great Little Richard.
Yeah, man.
I want you guys to put on pancake makeup and darken your mustache, a little rouge on your face. You wear a earring if you want to, and I want you guys to act like a bunch of gay guys." And he said that. That's the strategy. He said another thing, "I don't want you guys, we got to dress like a bunch of with loud colored clothes and all that stuff." He said, "They can't criticize my music too much, because my lyrics is just like a joke. Long, tall Sally and Tutti Frutti and Good Golly Miss Molly." But he said, "If we play in the white club, I don't want you guys to look too macho. I want you guys to look feminine."
Yeah.
So you weren't.
That's how we slept with a lot of women. They were trying to find out about Little Richard and the Upsetter. You saw them guys that gay. They won't harm you. They gay. The guys that gay and everything. Oh, but they found out later when we would come in town the next time. Little Richard, the people say, "Hold on to your girlfriend. That guy ain't gay, man.
Yeah.
That guy will steal your girlfriend away from you, man."
I know that trick before when I was touring. I would have done that a long time ago.
No kidding. Which part? The gay part, or the pancake makeup with the rouge and the earrings?
Anything, all of it.
Anything that works. Anything that works.
But I want to show you something right here.
Oh, we got some tools.
Oh, wow.
Now, only African American women know about this. We have to get our hair curled. This the the straightening cone right here. That's the straightening cone, the original straightening cone, back there from 1953, 1954.
Wow.
Torturous.
And we have to put this over a hot flame,
like hot flames?
hot flame, a stove or snail, whatever, and we would take this, and that would burn too, and take that, and this curl your hair like this, the original curl is right there.
Well,
and
you know what?
We have to go through all that mess for to introduce rock and roll down south.
Not much has changed because women, they still do that.
Oh, really?
We still do
Well, they
curls.
do the electric iron.
Well, yeah, we don't have to put it into a flame,
Yeah.
but we can put it into an electric outlet.
Yeah.
I'm so curious, Charles. You have had this long, successful career, and at times when you were on stage playing for people that that disrespected the race and maybe the music a little bit, but loved it and were enthralled with it, and you were sitting up there making twice as much as anybody in the whole crowd. What are some of those thoughts? Did you ever? You are one of the most humble, down-to-earth people I've ever met.
I don't hold resentment like that. Those days, they treated us wrong and everything, but, that was those days. This is nowadays. We have a Barack Obama now.
Exactly. Exactly. So you didn't ever harbor like a chip or you didn't let that stand in your way of your own personal success and your own personal expression of your art and your talent.
I learned that from a young age. I'm a left-hand drummer, and there were very few left-hand drummers those days. Only me and Fat Domino drummer, Cornelius Coleman. But when I was in the third grade, my teacher told me, she was an African-American teacher, she told me that I used to beat on her desk, make all kinds of noise.
Yeah, I bet she loved that.
Showing off front of the girl, just like you probably did when you were in school.
Exactly.
Showing off and want to be seen. Yes, I want to have show business in my life. And she called me up to the class and said, Charles, quit beating on her desk. Just come up here anyway. And she stood me, she brought me in the front of the class. She said that you're making all that noise, disturbing your classmates and everything. She said, and you're trying to play drums and all that stuff. She said, and there's no such thing as a left-hand drummer. So go sit down. Now, when we did Tutti Frutti, we played the Municipal Auditorium up in New Orleans. And I invited her and her boyfriend. God bless her soul. She'd been dead a long time ago. And I invited her to come backstage, and she said that, Charles, I never thought you'd be playing with a famous artist like Little Richard. I said, yes. And I said, I want you to come to my house tomorrow and have dinner. She said, oh, yeah. And I brought her to my home. That's before we went overseas to Australia. And she said, and I never thought that she would amount to be anything. She said, and buying a home at 20 years old.
At that day and time.
Yeah, and my father told me don't resent her or nothing like that. But I was resentful. I said that son of a gun, man. All of that. In those days, you have to be respectful to your teacher and everything like that, And my father from Santo Domingo, black Spanish. My father told me that don't pay no attention to her. He said that she may know about teaching, but she don't know nothing about drumming. And that stuck with me. Yeah. That CD or that tape stuck with me, and he said, "You're going to be a great drummer. Don't worry about that."
That is perfect advice to give.
Program my mind.
That's right.
To those coming up, because you have to, as an artist, you have to have your own little program because there's so much rejection. Oh my God! Every single day, there's so much rejection, and you've got to have a little mantra. You've got to keep your mind focused.
But you got to pay your dues too. You have to pay your dues out there. Because I was in New Orleans, I was playing around town and all that kind of stuff, and they had a lot of great musicians come from New Orleans. Earl Palmer.
Oh yeah.
Earl Palmer. Earl Palmer and a lot of great musicians. So I say, I got to get out of this situation, and I say, I got too much competition. I'm thinking then.
Oh yeah.
I said that maybe if I travel on the road, and I traveled on the road and paid my dues and everything, and was sleeping in cars. I had to pawn my drums. I had to eat a decent meal in about 3 or 4 weeks, a little cookies and sardines and stuff like that. Yeah. And Little Richard heard me play, and he said that, where you from? See, I'm from New Orleans. See, I know you're from New Orleans because you got that feeling.
Yeah.
So he brought me back to Macon, Georgia. But before that, I said, Richard, I'd like to go back. Another guy named Wilbur Smith with Lee Diamond, professional man, he was with me too. And I said, we're going to see little Richard. And I said, because Richard, we never seen a man like that before.
Yeah.
And he said that, okay, well, he wanted to talk to us. I said, we young, but Richard, I was 18 years old, he was 20 years old. And he said, you want to bring us back to Macon, Georgia? I said, well, at least we get a decent meal from little Richard, you know. And Richard, and I told Richard my condition, and I said, Richard, my drum's in a pawn shop, because the drum I was playing belonged to the club I was playing. And I say, I got holes in my shoes, and I'm hungry, and I'm about, I owe the hotel a week behind my rent. And Rich, you know how Richard is. Okay, baby, no problem with that. And Richard was like a mother and father. I said, darn, man, that cat going to take me, and I don't have nothing. I didn't have a thing to, you know. And he brought me back to Macon, Georgia, like that. Brought me and this other guy back to Macon, Georgia. And what happened, he said that after we were in Macon, Georgia, about a week, he said, Charles, come to the train station with me on 5th Street, Macon, Georgia. I said, what do you want me? He said, it's you, Charles. I said, what do you want me to do, you know? And he said, I want you to go to the Macon, Georgia train station, and I want you to hear something. I said, what? Okay. So we went to the Macon, Georgia train station, and he said, now listen to this train pull off. Chip, 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 chip. He said, what kind of notes are those? I said, Richard, those are 8 notes, 1 and 2 and 3. And he said, that's what kind of beat I want you to play behind me. We're gonna be something different, and we're gonna play. That's the kind of beat that 8-note beats, you know. And that's really where rock and roll beat came from. I mean,
that's it.
From
The rest is
sound
history.
of the choo-choo train.
The rest is history. I love it.
Yeah,
Sound
man.
of the choo-choo train.
So keep that beat in your heart.
Yeah.
And don't take no for an answer.
And don't hang around negative people. Musicians don't hang around negative people. You want to go to rehearsal, you might have a friend that not even interested in your career. Say, oh man, you ain't got to go to rehearsal. You ain't got to do it. Hang around, be in a nice environment, and people that have the same dream that you have.
Yeah.
Words to live by.
People that have the same dream and will give you confidence in your dream, you give confidence in their dream. And another thing I learned about when I was a little boy in New Orleans, I used to go and eat my parents' house, and my mother said, don't disturb Charles, you know, because Charles thinking for itself. You can actually bring the future into the present by using your imagination.
There you go.
And another thing, because I used to think about, man, one of these days I'm going to go up the line, and I'm going to go to the Apollo Theater. I was just thinking,
We got to cut off.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, that's okay. I want to sit and talk with you forever. I just adore you. You are a wealth of information.
Oh, man.
I tell you what, we're going to bring you back, and you're going to have a whole show just to yourself.
That's a good idea.
I love it.
yeah.